Hello, Keith Rucker here at VintageMachinery.org. Guys, today we got something a little bit different. This is anything but vintage machinery. I've got something brand new, again, here in the shop today that I want to share with you guys and put together and try it out. What I've got is a Creality Falcon2 Pro laser cutter and engraver. This is, in full transparency, was a gift from the company. They sent it to me to try out here on my channel to share with you guys. The only reason that I agreed to do something like this is a tool that I think that will be useful in my shop. It's not just something I'm doing to get something for free. I've got a couple of friends that have one of these or something similar to these, and talked to them about it, and really do feel like this is something that's going to enable me to do some things that I haven't been able to do before in my restoration work. So I did agree to do this, and what we're going to be doing today is an unboxing, putting it together and kind of trying it out. This will be something new for me. In some regards, you could consider this to be a CNC machine, and that you're going to load a file up in it, and it's going to be computerized and engraving and etching away on there. So we're going to give it a shot, see how it goes. I'm by any means an expert on this kind of equipment. This is anything but manual machining, but if I can do it, hopefully you can too. So let's give this thing a try. All right, let's see what we got here. Cover, got some nice packing in here. We've got like a drawer, maybe the bottom of it, I'm guessing. Right, some shielding, some more shielding. All right, now we've got a bunch of stuff. So it looks like an exhaust hose. Here's our laser modules, power supply. And just get all this stuff kind of unloaded. Protective goggles. Got a little kit here with some tools and stuff in it. Another piece of power supply. Got some cables. Some hose. Let's see here. That'll pull out. And we'll say this, it's nicely packaged. There looks like maybe a piece of board to do some testing with, I'm guessing. Aha! Instructions. We'll be needing those. All right, this looks like the bunch of little slats here. Some more pieces. This looks like the part that the laser mounts to that moves around. We got some more guards, shields, some frames here. And I think that is it. I'm going to get this box and put all this packing and set it aside for now. Well, first impressions here, I am happy to see that the instruction book in here appears to be pretty well written. Quite honestly, my experience with a lot of the Chinese stuff has been in the past where it wasn't that clear and really wasn't very well put together. This does appear to be put together. I'm just following the directions. I got these aluminum strips here, A and B, and showing putting these together with this little piece. Let's see. Yeah, it shows this piece right here going between them. So it looks like I got a couple of screws to put in. Let me find my screws. All right, so there's some little countersunk screws in this little kit along with a hex key. I'll note that there are some short screws and some longer screws. It looks like the longer screws are used here. This top piece that I'm putting on actually has a little camera built into it so you can monitor your work while you're doing it in the software, I'm assuming. So I'm just going to go ahead and put this together. So So I got the first one started there. It's not tight yet, but I'm gonna go ahead and get this second one going. Put it in, and I'll go ahead and tighten both of these up while I'm at it. All right, that's got that side done. We'll flip it around and do the same thing on the other side. I will note on this side we got a little, looks like a USB type connector there. Some type of connector in there. That's where you hook your camera in. But we'll go ahead and get that one going as well. All right. So next we want to put our little red cover here. This is just a light shield basically to keep that laser color from coming out. Protect your eyes. It is a little bit aggravating to kind of get it worked around this back corner. We're going to put some cross framing in here in a bit to kind of hold it all in place, but right now we just kind of want to get it in the right track. Once you get it down here, there's a little slot that all this fits into down in the bottom. We'll stiffen things up greatly once we get it put back in here, or put in here. There we go. And now there's a couple little screws that we'll put in from the ends to hold all this together. This kit came with a little Allen wrench, hex key. I prefer these T-handle ones, so I'm using this instead of the hardware that came in there. It just makes it a little bit easier to manipulate. All right. Now for the second part of this, we've got another screen here in the front. This one is going to kind of run in this track and go behind the ones on the other side over there. Again, there's two tracks. So this one here, you'll see it's going to come around. And there we go. It'll go past the other one. And on this side, we have a little light bar that ties in here. There's a little LED light built into this strip, and got a couple of screws holding it on as well. So we'll get those put in, and I think we'll have this piece assembled. And with that, I think we've got our cover put together. I'm going to set this aside, and we will continue on, and you can see that just opens and closes. Got it dirty on my bench, but that'll be all right. They call this the principal part in the instructions, and it shows us kind of putting this in here. There's a little cabinet drawer that fits in here. There we go. So that drawer just fits right in there like such. And it says to go ahead and install the laser module, which is going to mount on the bracket back here. I'm assuming that this box that says laser module is the laser module. Probably going out on a limb there, but I think it'll be safe to assume that. We'll open this up. And the laser module comes out. It's got a little dovetail part that it kind of goes down in here. We'll loosen up the screws. I'm assuming we will set the height at some point in time on this. Need to plug this laser head in. Right here is a little port to get in, and that will just kind of go back and forth back there out of the way. Next, we're going to install these aluminum slats down here in the bottom. This basically supports the work. There's little slots for these to fit down into. So let me get these all in place, and we'll be back here in a minute. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the top on this. I'm not sure if it matters, but one side has a little fan in it, and it gets in the pictures show it going on this side. So we will put it over here, And I need to figure out where that plugs in at. All right, this side panel goes on over here just like the other side, and there's a little tab here that you got to make sure you get. This little switch, there's a slot for that, and then we'll use the hex screws here to put them in place. And again, the screws are going to connect the pieces together here. This panel basically holds the top down to the main part down below. Let me go around and get all these tightened up. We'll continue on. All right. Open up the top here, and we need to connect the fan and the light. Looks like the light connects right down below it here. And the fan, let me figure out where that connects. Looks like the fan connects right down here in this corner. All right, I think we're good there. The instructions show connecting this exhaust pipe. There's a little flexible pipe that goes on this fan bracket back here. I'm gonna hold off on that right now just because this is not where I'm gonna set it up permanently. I think for right now, I'm just gonna have it just vent right into the shop, but this will be where I can exhaust it outdoors in a later time, but I'm not gonna worry about that at the moment. We've got a little air pump that plugs into the machine right here, and then there's a hose that goes from here over to the machine. There's a little plastic thing here that pulls off, and this goes in here. Now, from my understanding, this air pump will turn on, and it will basically just get some air movement through here to help with the fan and everything. So there's some lines that go back over here to the actual laser head too that gives some air pumping through there. So I'm just realizing something. This laser head that came in here, when I was hooking it up, I noticed there was a air hose, and the directions showed connecting it to the actual laser head, and I didn't see where it connected. Well, then I got to look, and I realized that this actually comes with two laser heads. This is a 1.4 watt, this is a 40 watt, or 1.6 watt rather, this is a 40 watt. So two very different laser heads that you can put on here depending on what you're using it for. At this point in time, I'm not even sure exactly what you need which one for. I've got the lower powered one in here right now, and I don't see a place to connect this air hose to it, but on this other one, there is a little port up here in the top where you can connect this air hose, and that's that air pump that we put in there. It'll pump through there and just, I guess, get some air flowing through this, which will help clean things out. As we move forward, I'll figure out which one we need to actually put in here. I'm gonna probably start playing with this with the lower powered one just until I kind of figure out what the heck I'm doing before I put the high powered one in, I'm thinking. So I'll figure that out as we move forward. All right, I did a little quick research on I did a little quick looking, and this head right here is more for engraving, for doing finer details. And I'm just gonna go ahead and pull it out for right now. To take the screw out, we'll just slide it out, and I'm gonna drop in the 40 watt head. Will do more for cutting and heavier work. And with it, you just plug it in just like you do the other one in the same little spot back here. And I'm going to clip this cable down in this little thing in the back, hold it in place, and then we got the air hose. The air hose is going to attach in this little port right here. And this is one of the neat things that kind of sets this unit apart from others is it does have this forced air system. So we got the pump over here on the side that's pumping air through here. It's pumping air down through this head, and that's kind of helping assist clean out the smoke and whatever that's being generated in there. It makes for a much cleaner cut according to their literature and stuff. So this is one of the things that is a little bit nice about this machine compared to some of the other laser engravers out there on the market now. All right, I'm gonna move on and see what's next here. I think we're about ready to fire this thing up. Now, this thing has a little key where you can lock it. It comes locked off. This is a nice little feature. If you got children or something, you wanna make sure that they can't turn this thing on, particularly with the lasers and what have you. I'll go ahead and shut that. I'm gonna power it on. All right, we got fans running. We got our air assist running. I hear the pump turning on over here. I hit the home button and it kind of sets it over to the side. Got an emergency stop button right here. If you want to stop it, you just can hit that at any time. So I've downloaded the software that they recommend using with this program called Lightburn. This is not made by the same company that makes the printer, or the cutter here rather, but it is the software that they recommend using it. And the first thing I want to do is calibrate the camera in here. It came with this calibration card, which we'll place in here. Like I said, there's a camera up in the top of this, and that's used to kind of find what it is that you're going to be working off of and kind of helping get everything set up like it needs to be. So in this software, I want to go to laser tools, and the first thing I want to do is calibrate my camera lens. It's going to ask me which camera lens I'm going to use. I'm going to use the Creality Falcon camera, and we're going to do a standard lens. Now I'm looking at the view from the camera. You can actually see the little calibration card in there, and we're going to do a full calibration. So I'm going to hit next. It's going to tell me where I want to place that target. Right now it's wanting to get in the center. That's where we have it. I'm going to hit capture, and it's got our picture here and gives a score of 0.04. We want that score to be 0.3 or less, so we're good. And I'm just going to hit next, and it's going to show me to move my target down to the bottom. So we'll move it down here to the bottom, kind of in the center. I'm going to hit capture again. And again, we've got a good image there. It kind of corrects for the pattern or the lens there in this corrected version. But I'm going to hit next, and basically it's just going to have us move that target around to a bunch of different places in the machine, and we're going to do it for each one of them. And I'm not going to make you watch every single one of these, but we're just going to go through this process and do them all, and we'll get it calibrated. All right, I'll bring you back here in a minute. All right, once we're finished, I'm just going to hit this align camera button, and our camera should be all finished up. And we should be ready to go. All right, so after doing our camera alignment, I want to do my first little test here. We're going to put a piece of paper in here, and it's just going to do a little test pattern. The first thing I need to do is kind of get it framed up, so I'm going to just click frame over here, and you're going to see it's going to kind of outline the area that we're going to be working on, and I can kind of see if I'm in alignment, and I can tell that I need to kind of come down and over a little bit. So let me do that again. Frame. All right, we were in. Yeah, everything is good there. So I'm going to shut up the door here, and we're going to start this. This is just a real quick pattern that is just going to use the laser on that piece of paper, put that test pattern on there, and we'll see how it looks. All right, so after that, we got our pattern on that piece of paper. Can't see the bottom with the cross beam, and I don't think in the camera frame, but you can kind of see what we are. But Now we're going to basically use that actual print or whatever you want to call that to calibrate our camera. Let's go over to the computer. All right, so we'll go next here now, and it's going to actually look down on our image there. We got everything out. I want to capture that image. And we can see everything, so I'm going to say next. And it says to click marker 1. We'll zoom in. All right, go to 2. All right, now I'm going to go down here to 3. Zoom out. Zoom in. Now we'll go over here to 4. Go next, and we are done. So now I've got everything calibrated like it should be. Let's see if we can do something a little more real here now. So this is kind of neat here. I'm going to put my block of wood in here, and if I click update overlay over here, you can see how I've got it in relationship to my pattern that I'm wanting to cut into this. So I can kind of position my piece of wood in this case right where I want it. So that should be pretty close right there. Let's see what that looks like. All right, so we've got our block of wood. Now you can kind of, again, you can see with the camera, we can use it to position where we are, and you can see the pattern that's going to trace out there on that once we get ready to go. So one of the cool features with this particular one is having that built-in camera to help you get things lined up just right in the real world. So pretty cool. All right, let's see if we can actually cut this out. For this test cut, I want to actually be cutting everything out in here. So this is going to be cutting through, and I looked up, there's a document that comes with this. It's a PDF file that tells you settings for different materials and whatever. So I've got basically my speed set on 100 millimeter or 1,000 millimeters per minute, and my power is on maximum. It's at 100% for this, and I think we are ready to go. So everything is positioned on there where we want. I'm going to shut it up. I'm going to hit home, and then I'm going to hit start. We're starting from absolute chords, by the way. I'm going to hit start, and we're going to let her go. And we are going here. It's burning stuff out. You want to have the air going when you're cutting. When you're just engraving, you don't have the air going through there. But since we are cutting here, we got the air blowing through there. The computer pretty much knows to do that. You can set it in your settings how you want to do it. But you can see it's just cutting right through that piece of wood. That's 2 millimeter thick basswood is what that is. And it's just cutting it like butter. And there we are. I'm gonna raise it up here. Just gonna push this back where you can kind of see it. And there we go. This will come right out. And there's our cutout. How cool is that? I will note here, you can kind of see the areas on there. That's just some burn marks. That's not actually burnt into that aluminum. It's just where it kind of smoked going down through there is all that is. And another neat feature of this is once you kind of get through with that, you can just kind of pull the drawer open here for easy cleanup. We can get all this stuff cleaned out of there without having to take everything out of the bottom. You can actually take this whole tray out, take that to the garbage can and dump it. All right, I'm gonna try something that's not as cookbook as what they have. Just going out on my own here. I've found me a little piece of plywood back there in the shop. I've got my Vintage Machinery logo here, and we're gonna see if we can I'm not gonna cut it out, I just wanna do more of an engraving on this. So I've got my power set at 25% and my speed set at 6,000 millimeters per meter. So moving much faster and lower power, but hopefully we'll engrave that. So I think we have got it ready to go here. I'm gonna click home and we're gonna click start, let her roll. Well, for my first attempt here, without really knowing anything about the machine and without playing with my artwork and without, just something quick and dirty to throw up on there, hey, that's not too bad. Obviously room for improvement. I think I could probably do some shading and stuff to kind of make it stand out a little bit more, but we'll play with it and we'll get better with it. So I'm just kind of figuring this thing out as I go, but there we go. There's a first shot at something, just playing with it. Well, guys, I think you've kind of seen the basics of what this machine can kind of do and shown how it gets put together, some of the main features of it, and how I'm going to use this in my shop doing restoration work for machinery and stuff like that. Well, good question, and I've got some things that I definitely feel like this is going to be really helpful for. Number one, cutting gaskets. Cutting out custom gasket designs has been something that's always been troublesome for me, particularly when you need like a perfect circle or something, trying to cut it inside and out. I should be able to lay material up on here, gas material up here, and just use this laser to cut it out exactly like I want to. In fact, I've got a gasket that I need to be cutting out pretty soon, and we're going to be coming to this machine to do that. Also, just doing the cutting like this right here on wood. I know Clark Easterling has one of these at Windy Hill Foundry, and he's been very successful in using his laser for making patterns in pattern making operations. So I don't know that I can do all of my pattern making with this, but there's definitely some functions of pattern making where a laser engraver like this, I think, really can be helpful as well. And quite honestly, something else that I'm kind of looking for is just making some swag for the channel, putting my logo on some things. I've had some ideas about some things that I wanted to do, some gifts to send people that are supporting my site on Patreon and stuff like that. I want to show a little appreciation, and this can let me be creative and come up with some little swag items with the Vintage Machinery logo and stuff on it that I can send out as thank yous and so forth like that, and be able to still make it something that I'm making in my shop rather than just having someone else do for me. So I've got some ideas on how I'm going to be using this going forward, and I'm sure that as I use it more and get a little bit more experience with it, that I'll come up with other ways that I can use it as well. But I think it will be a nice asset to have in the shop. I got to figure out where I'm going to put it. I may actually take it and put it in my storage building, or I call it my storage building, my smaller shop. I got a little bit more cleaner area up there that I can probably put this into and not be in more of this dirty environment that I have down here in the machine shop. So probably going to kind of have it set up in a different area than right here, but still definitely available where we can utilize it going forward. So there you go, the Creality Falcon2 Pro laser cutter and engraver. I'm sure you guys are going to be seeing more of this down the road as the opportunity comes up to be able to use it. And it's part of my work doing restoration work. So there you go. That's where we are, guys. With that, that is going to be a wrap. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Those thumbs up and comments are always greatly appreciated. Hit that bell icon up there to get notifications when new videos are posted. And as always, a big, huge thank you to those who support the site financially through Patreon, PayPal, etc. There's links for that down below in the description if that's something you want to help out with as well. And with that, we will sign off. We'll catch you on the next video. Again, thanks for watching.